Hello and a very warm welcome to this special edition of World Cricket Chat. And why I say special is because today I'm going to be interviewing Shruti about her playing 11. Yes, we're talking about the playing 11 in the IPL before the IPL has begun. We're done with the Australia series, we're done with all the rest of the bilaterals, we're done with looking at the World Cup because the World Cup is now two months away. Today we are going to kickstart our edition of the IPL special podcast where we'll be talking just IPL. We might bring in the World Cup somewhere in the middle of the IPL when the squads are out. But when you talk about the IPL right now, we have a different way of previewing things. Shruti Chopra is at the other side. She is going to give me what her playing 11 for the IPL is. What her best 11 for the IPL is. Hi Shruti.
Hi Suneer.
That was a long introduction, but that's because I don't get the chance to introduce you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, but that's because you also get to give more of your insights when we do our podcasts. And
is that a complaint, Shruti?
Not at all. I am still complaining about one thing though. We still haven't looked at my favorite World Cup, and I think I don't know when that's going to happen.
We have 2 months to look at your favorite World Cup. You tell me and we'll start looking at your World Cup as well. Just like we're looking at your favorite 11 players in this IPL before the IPL has begun. What I would like to understand from you is, what are the rules that we have set before you chose this 11?
The rules that we set were that obviously there have to be 11 players. Each team has to be represented. No team, we can have more than 2 players per team from each team, and 4 overseas players.
A maximum of 4 overseas players.
A maximum of 4 overseas players. And the most important part, budget, no bar. Thank God
we have a lot of money.
Because if you added a budget to this, I'd be really stuck.
Oh well, the kind of team that you have chosen, at least the first couple of names that I see, yep, the budget might have been a problem. Because let's start from the top. I saw the second and the third name that you shared with me, but let's start with your openers.
Yes.
Who are we looking at?
We're looking at opening with KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma. So KL Rahul is with Kings 11 Punjab, Rohit Sharma with Mumbai Indians. He also is my captain. Surprise there.
Why is it that not a surprise? Rohit Sharma, a very good T20 international captain. You would go with him. Why wouldn't you go with him?
Some people may go for MS Dhoni as the captain for this IPL squad, and I actually like Rohit Sharma as a captain. But do you want me to talk about KL Rahul first?
Sure.
So one thing is we saw KL Rahul for the longest time from the beginning of his IPL career was with RCB, and as soon as he moves to Kings 11 Punjab, he produces his best IPL ever. He scores around 659 runs, almost average of 55, and he provided that strong impetus at the beginning for the Kings 11, and I felt he played as if he had a point to prove. I don't know if it hurt him that RCB dropped him and let him go, or and it's very similar to today's situation, especially with the World Cup coming up. I find that he is in sort of a slump. We all can see that he hasn't been doing very well in ODI cricket, and this with the World Cup coming up, he may want to use this opportunity to get himself in that positive frame of mind and possibly into that playing 11 for the World Cup. It's all a mental game right now, and I think he has it, and he's going to use this opportunity.
Playing 11 for the World Cup ahead of Shikhar Dhawan or Rohit Sharma?
He may want to. I know that Shikhar Dhawan is a great player when it comes to ICC tournaments. But you never know. If he has a couple of bad games and India do want to change him around and want to bring in KL Rahul, they'd rather want to bring in a positive KL Rahul who's had probably a good IPL season. So I think KL Rahul will want to make use of this opportunity, and because he did really well for Kings 11 last year.
And you also said it's about proving a point. Last year he proved a point at the Kings 11 Punjab when he shifted bases. This time it's about proving a point to get into the squad for starters, because the squad would be announced for the World Cup. And we keep getting back to the World Cup. I should have said that at the start, that we'll not be talking about the World Cup. But yes, the squad would be announced somewhere around the second week of April, if I'm not wrong. And by that time, hopefully, he has had a great start to the IPL, and he gets that rightful backup opener's place in the World Cup. Because I don't think he's a first choice opener at this stage. I'm not as optimistic as you are. But as you said, you never know.
You never know. You want to go with a confident 15 to the World Cup. And if this IPL can do that for KL Rahul, then it's good for Team India. So, move on to my next player.
Yes.
Rohit Sharma, I said already. I know for the last couple of years, he has performed below par. And it has been disappointing to see, because he's averaged around 24 in the last couple of years. And I do think, we know Rohit Sharma is a world-class player, and we know the sort of workload he has handled for India in the past year. It's something you've spoken about in detail as well. But what really strikes me is with the sort of team that Mumbai Indians tend to carry, he is this very natural captain, and with the sort of strong, rounded team, he knows how to pull his team out of extremely tough situations, and he's proved himself as a T20 captain. And so I'm okay with his average being below par, because I think he's due one. I think he's due a good IPL.
Interestingly, in the 10 series, ODI series that he played before the New Zealand and the Australia series at home, he had a century in every series. It's just the last two series that he's not had a century. Not that scoring a century or not scoring a century means a lot. If you can play very well, lead your team to win, like a Kedar Jadhav at number 6 might not have a lot of centuries, but when he's batted, he's done well, he has led the team to win. But as an opener, you expect that from Rohit. It's the benchmark that he has set, that he scores a century every time. Just a pointer towards form being an issue, just a pointer towards a bit of a fielding problem there. A lot of lapses coming in the Australia series, which was very surprising to see. But I agree with you there. He has captained the Mumbai Indians well during the IPL, won IPL thrice for Mumbai Indians, and one of the players that I think would gain more out of this tournament as far as the confidence is concerned, because he is the first choice opener in that World Cup. So that's one thing that Rohit Sharma would have to probably garner out of this. Personally speaking, if you ask me, I would have rested him for the last couple of series, at least one series in that Australia series. And that's not because India could go into the Australia series with a lot of complacency or overconfidence. It's just that Rohit Sharma needed that rest, I thought, looking at the way things were going. Shikhar Dhawan needed that rest. But here we are, he's played that series, and he's also going to be playing in this IPL. So all the best to him and the rest of the players who are going to be selected for the World Cup. May their jadedness remain as far as away from them possible.
That's very right. And just one other pointer there on Rohit Sharma. I find him, at least in his captaincy, he has a very unfazed attitude. Like he doesn't get flustered very quickly. And we've seen the way Mumbai lost a lot of their matches last season. His attitude was, okay, you know what, this is not good, but they were also unlucky there towards the end, and I think that he doesn't really let it get too hard, and you don't see that.
Shruti, unlucky. Excuses now. Come on, Shruti.
Mumbai
Indians fan. Come on, that's an excuse.
Last ballers. Have you not seen the documentary, the Cricket Fever documentary? Have you not revisited how close Mumbai Indians got?
So they got lucky in the 2017 IPL by winning it by 1 run against Pune.
Oh yeah.
So they were lucky.
Yes, 100%.
So you give some, you take some.
Of course.
Let's move on to the next player that we have on your list of the 11 that would probably do well according to you this IPL. Who's number 3?
It is an absolute no-brainer, and one of the most phenomenal players in the world. And how can he not be in anyone's squad. And like I said, thankfully our budget was limitless, so I could choose him in my 11. Have you guessed who I'm talking about?
Virat Kohli.
Has to be Virat Kohli.
It's not a guess, it's right in front of me. You shared this list in front of me.
Even if you did not know, I think you would have guessed.
I would have been very surprised had you not picked up Virat Kohli. However, there's a surprise waiting for you when I unveil my 11, which I'll not be describing them too much, but I'll give you my 11 as well at the end of it all. But for now, Virat Kohli at number 3.
Wait a minute, that's cheating. You said that you don't have an 11.
I do have an 11. It's just that I'm not going to be going into it as in-depth as you have.
Well, we'll see if you can control yourself there, Sydney. I'm not going
I'll only take questions from it.
Okay, great. That should keep it really short. But yeah, he had a phenomenal year last year. Virat Kohli averaged 48 and his highest was 92. And unfortunately, he doesn't really get backed up very well by his team, and that's where things go wrong for him. But as a player in my team, with the sort of other combinations I have, I think
so.
Well backed up.
I'll ask this question twice in this whole episode. I have a feeling. First time, why is he not your captain?
He's not my captain because, in general, I don't think Virat Kohli is a good T20 captain. And it's also about how you rally around your players, how you get the best out of them. And we have seen Rohit Sharma, we've seen MS Dhoni, we've seen these two show what it's like to be a good
How many
T20
followers
captain.
do you have on Twitter, Shruti?
I touch 1,500 and it goes up and down.
You might be down to 750 by the end of this podcast, or at least by the end of people having heard you on this podcast.
Wait, so that's if they pass the first 7-8 minutes.
I'm sure they will. They're very interested in knowing what your team is. A lot of people have asked me what Shruti thinks about the team from a tarot perspective. This is obviously not a tarot related reading, but yep. So Virat Kohli at number 3, phenomenal year last year, has been phenomenal otherwise in the IPL as well. 900 plus runs in one of the IPL. I don't know whether if someone can break that record, but you never know. Never say never.
He could break his own.
He could break his own, and that would be so awesome going into that World Cup.
Then I just hope the rest of RCB have players which back him up, because it'd be nice to see RCB compete a bit more.
Get to the playoffs at least for starters.
Yeah, it would be good. It'd be something different this year.
Just as an aside, RCB play CSK in the first game of this season. What's your pick?
I am more inclined towards CSK.
CSK to beat RCB. Cool, I'll go with RCB. Let's you get your followers down, I'll get my followers up.
But I'll get them up, right?
From CSK. They have a better fan base, if not anything else.
They won an award recently as well. So.
Well, I might lose some as well. Anyway, moving on to the number 4.
Yes. At number 4, I have Colin Ingram, and he's Delhi Capitals, the newly christened name that has changed for Delhi there. So I do like, I know he's not really somebody who's a supposed proven customer, but he's done well recently in the PSL, and his highest was 127 recently, in fact. So I think it'd be nice. It's not like a regular choice that you would have, but just for basic balance of the side, I would like to have Colin Ingram there at number 4.
Interesting. Delhi have gone for all the Collins in the world. Colin Ingram, Colin Munro. I would have probably selected a Munro over Ingram, but Munro doesn't bat at 4. He's more an opener. And Ingram is more suited to that middle order role. Also interesting to see that Delhi have hired the services of Saurav Ganguly for the IPL.
Yes, he has, and Saurav Ganguly is also batting for Cheteshwar Pujara.
He's batting for Cheteshwar Pujara. I'm pretty sure that the one thing that might get clarified, will get clarified at least during this IPL is what is Dhawan's name?
Shikhar or Shekhar?
We'll soon know in his next commentary stint. But moving on, who's the number 5?
My number 5, David Miller from Kings 11 Punjab.
Why would you go with Miller?
So I've recently been watching David Miller play with his limited overs. I found that he plays to the situation. Somewhere I think I've started to really like him since 2013.
When he smashed that century against Virat Kohli's Royal Challengers Bangalore, 38 ball 100.
Oh, good memory there. Or unless I told you a short
You
while
told
ago.
me.
But yeah, it's because of the fact that he didn't really start strongly in that innings, but he played himself in. He understood the situation. Punjab were not in a good position, and he knew how to change gears. And he took RCB on. And I know you will tell me that RCB don't have a brilliant bowling lineup, so it's not such a big deal, but it is, right, for a youngster. And the fact that all these years he's maintained his position in the South African team, there is something. And he's also liked by Faf du Plessis and compares him to MSD, although I'm not using him here for his wicket keeping skills. But yeah, I think it has to be David Miller for me, because I believe he knows how to adjust himself for the team.
And that century was followed by that very famous line of his, that very famous quote of his that a lot of people still remember. I mean, you usually associate quotes with great cricketers. David Miller is not a great cricketer by any stretch, but that quote of his, the arc with the park and the we with the tree,
Come on, Suneer, say the full line.
I think it's your show. You should be saying the full line. But if you insist, if it's in the arc, it's out of the park. If it's in the V, it's in the tree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure had Baba Sehgal been here around, he would have added three or four more lines to it.
Yeah, we're not that talented.
We're not. Okay.
Let's
go with the next one.
My next no-brainer after Virat Kohli is my wicket keeper is MS Dhoni. And I know he's not a no-brainer for a lot of people, but for me he is. Can I please get more followers? It's not just Dhoni's batting skills and keeping skills, and it's also about how he guides his bowlers, the way he understands situations, and in recent times the way he's taken the game deep sometimes hasn't worked. But last year's IPL was his best, again, just like KL Rahul. It was his best in his 11-year career. 76 almost average. The closest was earlier in 2014. His strike rate of 150 plus. And he keeps so well, and he's guiding the bowlers. That's why.
Last season, obviously there was a lot of fan expectations from the Chennai Super Kings, but the way they won it, the way they came back after their 2-year ban, was it's stuff that fairy tales are made of. If you knew the result beforehand, you'd probably had a Netflix documentary on that. That would have been an awesome Netflix documentary. So that was interesting. Plus, the other thing about MS Dhoni and his selection here and his batting in the last season was MS Dhoni had gone into that rut by himself. He was struggling. He still has those days. He still has those days when hitting becomes a problem and slogging towards the end becomes a problem. But that IPL gave us a lot of hope that we might be seeing that MS Dhoni of old. The MS Dhoni who probably was taking on spinners, had no issues against pace bowlers, who was nudging the ball around and getting those runs instead of nudging it back to the spinners, which happens sometimes with MS Dhoni. And that was something of a hope. That was probably also what extended his career into the World Cup. I'm not very sure he would have been dropped from the Indian team had he not had a great IPL, but it definitely gave his career a lot of boost. So I think that's a good pick, Shruti. Again, I'll ask that question the second time. Why not as a captain?
Suneer, he's not my captain, but he makes it to be my vice captain. Does that count for half points?
I'm not giving you points here. You're talking about followers, Chennai Super Kings followers. You might get a Rohit Sharma fan, but you do realize that you will be losing out on a lot of Chennai Super Kings followers. If I could answer that question for you. He's no longer a captain of the Indian team as well. But we all know how much Virat Kohli trusts him in the decision making.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure whether it's Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli, the decision making in a lot of ways would be coming from there. So it's not that bad a choice. Having MS Dhoni as a vice captain, keeper who can probably advise. But when it comes to IPL and having led Chennai Super Kings to 3 titles in 10 years, 9 years of playing, because they have played a couple of seasons less, I think he deserved to be the captain.
Well, I can say something very similar about Rohit Sharma then. Same, 3 titles. In fact,
11 years. In actually less than that, but yeah.
But but the last 5-6 years, their
Yep.
run has been brilliant.
Yep.
And plus, I think if I remember the name correctly, it's Champions
League.
There was a Champions League which also Mumbai won
Yep.
under Rohit Sharma. So
You made your point, Shruti.
thank you.
Good point.
Thank you so much. And he's a Mumbai Indians player.
I was waiting for that. I was trying to goad you into saying that, but of course,
I was going to say it anyway. I'm shameless about it. So
Had the rules not been there, had the rules been a little more, if I could say, easy, not so stringent, your 11 would have had 8 and 9 players for Mumbai Indians.
not really. I
11.
think if you had allowed me one more player for Mumbai Indians, he would have. I mean, this is where I'm heartbroken. Is my number 7, my all-rounder. I would want it to be Hardik Pandya, but I can't take another Mumbai
So
Indians
who is
player.
your all-rounder?
It's Krishnappa Gautam. He was with Mumbai Indians in 2017. Does that count?
It does. It's all in the heart.
Yeah,
If you think he's a Mumbai Indians player, he is a Mumbai Indians player. It doesn't matter.
Not really. At least on paper, he's my only Rajasthan Royals player. And he was bought by Mumbai Indians in 2017. He did not play a single game. He was picked by Rajasthan Royals in 2018. He played 15 matches. He had a batting strike rate of almost 197. He's definitely much lower down the order, but he also messed up a game for Mumbai Indians. I mean, he really gave it back to them.
There has to be a Mumbai Indians connection. So basically, the player who doesn't, who messes up for Mumbai Indians, you take him in. You know, if someone's that good, you take him in the team.
Yeah, it showed that he just showed that he, in his young IPL career, he had the ability to stand up in a tight match against a very strong team, against the team that was actually winning the match in the way he came back into it. He has that temperament, and I'm
just surprised that you haven't, Rajasthan Royals players, when you talk about, you've not gone for a Sanju Samson, Ajinkya Rahane, Steven Smith, Josh Butler, Rahul Tripathi, Stuart Binney. You had a lot of options there.
The first few names you mentioned were all batsmen, and then the next few that you mentioned that are supposedly all-rounders, I'll reserve my rights to speak.
You take the 5th.
I'll take the 5th, even though we don't live in that country. I'll take the 5th.
Let's move on to your number 8.
My bowlers, 8, 9, 10, 11. My bowlers. I'm going to, at number 8, have Sunil Narayan. I like his, from Kolkata Knight Riders, I like his knack to be this carefree batsman. He can really throw the opposition if required. I mean, he opened the amount of in 2018 whenever the team needed him, and because he's a bowler and he doesn't have that pressure that I'm a batsman and I'm in this team as a batter, that he feels very confined. He just plays like he wants to, and he had a
bit like Kedar Jadhav. The opposite way. He's a batsman, he doesn't feel the pressure of bowling, and that's why he's gotten away a lot of times.
That's also very right. And so in 2018 he had a strike rate of just under 190, but otherwise with the ball last year he took 17 wickets, and his IPL career economy is 6.5, and that's really good considering that it's a tough space to bowl in T20 cricket. And so if he can just propel the innings in the beginning if needed, even if not needed, even if lower down the order it's needed, I liked him. I liked him for that position.
You know, the thing that I like about Sunil Narayan is that he's one of those very few bowlers who has gone through so much when it comes to action. And I have no sympathies for bowlers who have had a bad action, because that's their fault. That's their lookout, the way they have gone. But to have come out of it is where I think he's done so brilliantly. He's probably had 3 or 4 times he's been sent by the ICC, by the local domestic leagues to get the action verified. He has come back, changed his action, still bowled reasonably well. He's not been as potent as he was before the action change, but then you obviously lose a lot when you are not able to get that more than 15 degrees of bend in your arm. And still to be able to come in, still to be able to pick up those wickets. I remember those times while playing fantasy cricket, before the times of Dream 11, in fact, when Star Sports had their own website, they had a fantasy page, or ESPN Star is what it was called. Sunil Narine was one of those first names in every one of our teams because of the way he was. It's like Rashid Khan of these days. You have to pick Rashid Khan up, which is what I've seen. You have done that too. That's your number 9.
Yes, it is. And I will just say one line for him. In 2018, he took 21 wickets at an economy of 6.73. Need I say more?
Best bowler in T20 cricket at the moment. A lot of people might argue there's Jasprit Bumrah. People might say there's Jofra Archer. There are other bowlers here and there. In terms of sheer numbers, consistency, to be able to get those wickets when needed. Did not have a great big bash league, but still, you have to go with Rashid Khan, who's been doing that. He played a test match. He's been in the middle of a test match right now for Afghanistan. Bowled yesterday and got 2 wickets in the same over against Ireland. So he's one of those guys that you trust. And if I could add, a batsman as well. He can bat. He can throw his bat around.
Yes, he can. He has done. We've seen him do that last IPL. So yeah, he is another good all-round dimension.
And he reduces the average age of the team.
Yeah, he does. What is it? 18? Did he turn 21 recently?
I have no clue.
What is it? And lost. But one thing, if you notice, Sunil Narine and Rashid Khan both tend not to have a lot of expressions on their faces.
In fact, Rashid Khan does. You got to see him
when he's taken a wicket. His expression doesn't change. His hand movement happens.
When he gets hit for a few runs, look at those eyes. It's like picture saying a million words. It's like his eyes say a lot. So probably a little more observation about his eyes, and you will have a fair idea.
I'll have to see this. Yeah. So my number 10.
Number 10. Yeah.
Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Sunrisers Hyderabad. He's not in his best form currently. He didn't have a great 2018 if I just see that he just took 9 wickets out of 12 matches. And I know I'm comparing him to like a Rashid Khan who's taken 21, a Sunil Narine who took 17. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar would be someone I think would be eager to get back his rhythm, considering the World Cup is ahead, and he is known for his accuracy, and I would back him up to get himself up again and use this opportunity to sort himself out. And again, like KL Rahul, get back into a better mindset as well.
Bhuvneshwar Kumar obviously adds another dimension that he can bowl in the death. He can take the new ball, bowl in the first couple of overs where the ball might swing a little. Does not happen usually in T20 cricket, but yes, so that's an advantage. You can bowl in the first few overs. You can bowl in the death. It's just that in recent times the rhythm has been lacking. He's shown that he's coming back. So if this was a hypothetical match that these guys were playing and Bhuvneshwar Kumar had to go in, I might have a question mark around him at this stage. But once he gets back into that rhythm, and it has happened before as well. 2015, he had an injury, he had an operation, he took his time. What was strange about that was that he came back with a better speed. He was always a 128, 130, 132 kilometers per hour bowler. He started bowling at 140 kilometers at one stage, but the swing had gone missing, and that was a worry. The swing has come back now. The rhythm, I think it should be a matter of time before it comes back.
Fingers crossed, just for my team. And for Sunrise Hyderabad and for Team India. So I started with being a bit selfish there, but it's allowed. It's my team.
It's your
at
team.
The end
It's
of
your
it.
team.
You're not spending any money.
You have paid for it. Nothing for it.
Paid nothing for it. And that's why I can afford my 11th player, who's also one of the best in the world.
Jasprit Bumrah.
Yes. Yes.
The second Mumbai Indians player.
My second Mumbai Indians player. I'm so sorry, Hardik Pandya. I really wanted you as my all-rounder. But yes, Jasprit Bumrah. In fact, we were talking about the Cricket Fever documentary. And watching that, I also realized that yes, when we've heard Jasprit Bumrah speak earlier when he's in post-match presentations, but in that documentary, I found he had a lot of clarity of thought. And he knew how to reflect on his bowling if things were going wrong. And he also knew how to bring the rest of the bowlers together. Those are really nice qualities to have if any of the other bowlers are having an off day. Plus, Jasprit Bumrah is accurate. His accuracy day in, day out, you can see him bowl the same Same way his Yorkers he's known for them. So why not? I mean, do I need to sell this guy to you as my bowler?
The two of them whom you're not sold to me, but yeah, they are more or less implicitly sold. Rashid Khan and Jasprit Bumrah, I think two of the best bowlers in the white ball format. What's interesting is in your squad, and I'll just talk about it generally now, there are just two seamers and Andre Russell who might bowl if he's fit. So fitness becomes an issue. And there are three spinners. So on pitches which might not help spin too much, could be a problem.
It could be a problem, but that's why you don't have just a team of 11, Suneer. You tend to have more bowlers.
So who would your reserve bowlers be if you did go for them?
I would like to have a Jofra Archer for as long as he would be in the IPL. Even a Trent Bolt or even a Chris Morris.
Would they satisfy the rules that we had set?
No, they won't. They won't. Well,
interesting.
Maybe.
But probably we're not looking at the rules when you're talking about a squad of 13, 14, 15 players. It's just the 11 that need to follow the rules. So yeah, probably we'll make some adjustments there.
Thanks so much.
I'm a very understanding co-host.
Didn't you have a surprise for me?
I did?
You said you created your own team.
Yeah, I mean, I meant that my team is a little different from yours.
Are you going to tell me who they are?
I am obviously going to tell you because that's what I told you in the beginning of the podcast. So I will go with two overseas batsmen as my openers. It's okay. Quinton de Kock and Chris Gayle. So no Rohit Sharma for me. That's the surprise that I was talking about.
Oh, that was your surprise?
That was my surprise. No means captaining for me. It's going to be Virat Kohli at number 3 who captains this side.
Really?
Yes.
That is a surprise.
I am backing Virat Kohli to captain this side because he'll take that captaincy into the World Cup and take that confidence of having led this team to a win over your team.
Whatever.
So Kohli is my number 3. My number 4 is Suresh Raina. And Suresh Raina, I think we've not spoken about him for a long time. His name keeps cropping up from Suresh Raina fans that why not Suresh Raina for the ODI team? No, let's be realistic. He's done with his international career for now. But when it comes to IPL, I think he's second to none. You talk about Rohit Sharma, you talk about Virat Kohli, but you need to talk about Suresh Raina in that same breath because he has been a great and he just needs those 1 or 2 innings to get going and then you can expect a very good IPL from him. I think Suresh Raina is my number 4. Can bowl as well.
Sorry, but Suresh Raina just tends to do well as soon as he dons yellow clothing.
Exactly, so my point.
That's
That's the point that really makes me pick him ahead of a lot of other players.
In fact, there are many Indian players I wish they would just wear yellow amongst the blue just so that they would perform better.
I don't know what you're talking about. So that's my number 4. I will go with, amongst all of these, I'll go with Shubman Gill at number 5. I'm backing talent here. I'm backing
strong youngster.
Strong youngster who has done well. In recent times, in the Syed Mushtaq Ali tournament, he's not done too well. But I have a feeling he will come good for KKR. I've spoken about Quinton de Kock and Chris Gayle. De Kock will also be my wicket keeper in the team. I'll have a second keeper in the playing 11, Rishabh Pant. And it will be a toss-up between who keeps, but I think I'll go with Quinton de Kock as my keeper. Now, I'll first speak about Quinton de Kock quickly. He has had a brilliant lead up to the IPL at the international level. He has been scoring runs for fun. He's been scoring runs as consistently as a Virat Kohli has done, but only in recent times. So he has to be there in my team. So that's one. Rishabh Pant will walk in at... He'll be a floater, so to say. His position for now is number 5, or number 6 in fact. But he could also be sent in at number 3 if the partnership has been great or if runs are needed. Ben Stokes, I asked you this question. Why not Ben Stokes? Because that's my number 7. An all-rounder. Rashid Khan, a common choice. Again, we should not be saying too much about it. Kuldeep Yadav, ahead of Sunil Narine, because I think Kuldeep Yadav is the informed bowler. Did not have a great couple of matches against Australia, but Australia play him well. Otherwise, in pitches that might support him with a little bit of bounce at Kolkata, would be a bowler to watch out. And Bumrah and Bhuvaneshwar, which make it my 11. This 11 has 3 seamers as well. Rashid Khan and Kuldeep Yadav being the others, and Suresh Raina to add with the part-time bowling option.
Very smart. I just think we both have very good teams.
Who will win?
Maybe we should keep a track of this now.
And we should add points to it, and we should probably ask people who are listening to us, who do you think would win this team, or would win this match?
Plus, I think it would be nice if everyone else told us their 11,
Yes.
following the same rules.
Yep.
No more than no more than two players from one particular franchise. What were the other rules? You need four overseas
Four
players.
overseas players, no more than two players from one franchise, and every team needs to be represented.
Right, and money no bar.
Of course.
Of course, it makes me feel really rich to be able to afford these players.
This isn't even a Dream 11 team.
I know. No, even then, I still end up feeling a little poor because I'm like off by 50 lakhs or something like that. Like, damn it, it's only 50.
So that would be that. That is Shruti Chopra's team for World Cricket Chat for the IPL. This is pre-IPL. We might be coming back after the IPL and comparing how did Shruti's team do, how did my team do, but this is more about Shruti and her team. We should be back with another episode of World Cricket Chat where we look at some of the other players, other teams, and probably preview the IPL in the lead up to the tournament, which begins on the 23rd. It's probably a week away.
Yes, and why not? Let's do that. But let me do the introduction next time.
You felt a
the
little
end.
left out.
It's fine. I just miss saying hello, everyone. Welcome to World Cricket Chat. I missed that.
I missed it too. So yes, next time will be Shruti introducing us. But for now, it's bye-bye from both of us.
Bye.